Hi everyone, welcome to Maximum Attack Rally. You join me at the Jeddah Corniche circuit of all places. Not where I would usually be. I have not gone all roundy, fear not. This, it might not look like it, but this is the service park for Rally Saudi Arabia. Can't see any rally cars right now, but I assure you they are there in the garages behind me. So we'll go and have a look at those in a second. I have a confession to make. Unfortunately, I am going to be out of the country when the rally happens, which is a real shame. But these things happen, going on holiday, I'm gonna have fun anyway. So I thought before that happens, before I get on a plane, I would come and check out the service park, just have a little walk around so you can see some of the cars, see what's going on, and just get another taster. We looked last week at the route for the rally. So when you watch this, probably on Monday, you'll know who's won. Right now, I don't know who's won. So we're just gonna have a look. We're just gonna see some cool cars, see what's going on, and have a nosy around. So let's go for a walk that way and see what we can find. So you join me again in a little corner of Group N loveliness. This is Mitsubishi corner. So behind me there is the top Group N type seat, I suppose you could say, of Shakir Jawan. He's from Jordan in an Evo 10. And we have two Lebanese Evos behind me. It's nice to see those cars out and about, isn't it? Becoming not a rare sight, but they're not as common as they once were, are they? Evos and Imprezas, but there's quite a few of them on the entry here. Popular cars, I think you could actually buy them here for a start, so it probably helps, doesn't it? So I'm going to keep walking down and see what else we can spot, because it looks like we're going to see another little bit of Group N action. You just flip the camera around. This is car number 12. I'm looking at my phone, I'm really sorry, which is Zakaria Al Amri. An Impreza. Now, this is strong memories for me, because obviously I drove an Impreza last year at a much less glamorous rally in the UK, which looked remarkably like this one, although the one I drove was right-hand drive. I do miss Impreza rally cars, you know. I know everyone's sort of gravitated towards R5 and Rally 2 cars, and away from Group N a little bit, kind of on a lot of events, haven't they? You know, you don't see these cars at the sharp end anymore. Obviously the British Championship went through a long period of Group N domination, didn't it? But man, I still like these cars. I was a bit not meh, but I wasn't super keen until I drove one, and I thought, man, this is such an exciting car to drive. Maybe the problem is that while they're a really exciting car to drive, he says, speaking up as another Evo shows up. I'm going to stop talking, hold on, I'll just watch. The lap mic will have picked that up, but I thought it was worth me shutting up so you could hear that pulling in, because it sounds better than I did. As I was saying, I wasn't meh about Group N cars like these, but I think they were so common, weren't they? And they were never quite as glamorous as WRC cars, and I think if you're watching, they weren't always the most exciting, because you can't necessarily throw them around in the same way. They're a bit heavier, you know, they're not as agile. But having driven one, and I know this is selfish, they are such good fun to drive, and yeah, I just kind of miss them a little bit. So nice to see so many of them out here, obviously sounding nice and loud, probably louder than they'd be in the UK because of our stupid noise regulations. That's enough talking about these ones though. Let's go and see what else we can find. I have definitely found my part of the service area. So behind me, we have 3 208 Rally 4s. A lot of you probably won't care too much about this because obviously they're a lower category car, but I love a Rally 4 car. I think they're a good level. They're not cheap. I know they're not cheap, but I think they're still good to watch. They sound good. And they're very much in the mold of the old sort of Group A era. And I kind of like that, as much as I love Rally 2 cars. And I said, I think it was in my last video, that Rally 2 is a future at the top of the sport. They are very complicated, aren't they? And they are very expensive relative to things like this. So I think that's why I have a soft spot for Rally 4 cars. I think there's something old style Group A, very much look like their production cousins, don't they? And relatively simple. I know they have sequential gearboxes and built engines and things, but they're kind of semi-attainable, aren't they? And I think, like Rally 2, it's been a really popular category, and they've sold hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them, haven't they? If you go to France in particular, there are so many of these and so many Clios. I think that shows what a successful formula it's been. If you compare it to Rally 3, for example, and maybe even Rally 5 to some extent, they haven't generated the same level of interest, have they? Particularly Rally 3. So I think these are another super successful category that probably doesn't get enough credit. So I'm just going to go and walk around and look at these a little bit and wish my road car was exciting. So maybe I'll just put in some B-roll here and you can have a look as well, and probably not drool as much as I am, but I'm a loser. I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed at all. So I was going to show you a lovely Fabia RS Rally 2, which I think would have been the first time I've seen such a car in the metal. I don't think I've seen the latest Fabia up close. And the emptiness of the pit lane is a metaphor for that continuing, it seems, because we're not going to get to look at it, which is a real shame. As I said, there's just a few cars out, so we're just having a little wander around and putting in some B-roll here and there, as you have probably seen. It is warm, I'm going to say that. So I suspect the crews are in for an interesting weekend, which will have finished by the time you watch this, but never mind. I'm just walking past the GR garage, and there is no Juho Hänninen car either. There is no Rakan Al Rashid, the only Saudi driver. Look, I should show you, shouldn't I? Empty spots, which is a bit of a shame. It would have been nice to see one of the Toyotas up close, so a little bit empty down this end of the pit lane, but I'll see if we can find a little bit more to look at. And in the meantime, I'll just keep rambling on. It's weird. I must say, it's really weird being in. I'm going to get distracted for a moment. I said in the preview there are some Can-Am buggies, so there is one. So let's have a look at that. Okay, so this is going to be the most uninformed video you will ever see, because I know absolutely nothing about these vehicles. So if you do know something, put it in the comments and educate me. I assume it has a bike engine. Let's see if we can see. Is that a motorbike? It's hard to see, isn't it? It does look like a bike engine, doesn't it? It looks quite compact. Can you see in there? It's radiator on top, look. It's very difficult. It's got Riga dampers. Very, very long Riga dampers, look. Actually, no, I don't know if that is a bike engine, because it looks like the gearbox is behind it. Tell me what engine that is in the comments, please, because I'd like to know. Very, very long suspension arms for Uber travel. His top links as well. This is a properly engineered thing, isn't it? Not that I'm showing you very well. I'm not super into like rally raid type stuff, I must be honest, but I bet one of these is a whole crap load of fun. Just look at the front suspension as well. It's really interesting how the up and control arm goes above the tyre. So that was not very educational. I'm very, very sorry. But it's a cool thing, isn't it? And I can't remember how many of them there are on the entry list off the top of my head, but they are bulking up the field a bit. So for this first event, that's good. And they're a popular choice here, you know, it's more well established. It says, you can see on the door of this, Jamil Motorsport. So Rally Jamil is an all-female rally raid type event here. So, you know, it's nice to see initiatives like that to try and get people involved in motorsport. So it's cool to see, isn't it? It's cool to see. I don't know anything about it. Let's get it in shot. It's cool to see. So what I was saying before I got distracted by the Kanami thing, which I don't know anything about, it's really weird being in an F1 circuit when it's empty. So obviously the grandstand you can see over there is empty. The pit lane is basically empty apart from a few people walking about. So it's so weird. You would usually only come to these places when they're a hive of activity, and obviously to get into the pit lane during a race weekend you would have to be pretty special. So it's very, very strange. It's kind of, it's not eerie because obviously there's people around and there's things going on, though some of them look a little bit bored because there's not that much going on. Look, there's some Toyota people sitting in there who've probably never been to this country before and are wondering what's going on. So it's kind of strange. It's just sort of a bit of anticipation in the air, but kind of quietness. Very interesting. So valuable insight, I think you'll agree. Still lots of empty garages, which is a bit of a shame, but there are a couple of R5 Skodas up this way. So we're walking back up the pit lane in the direction that the circuit actually operates, and there's a car coming behind me, look. So we can record that for you. So I promised you Fabia R5s, and there they are. I'm not going to go too close at the moment because they are just checking the alignment on the car that's closer. So that post, see my hand going up and down, look, the post that's sitting in front of it has a little bit of string, so they're checking the alignment. So I won't get in their way, but I've been distracted anyway, and I think you will agree that it's a worthy distraction as I pan around to this. Oh my God. I think this is maybe only the second or third one of these I've seen in person. A G63 6x6. I think this might be the coolest car ever created. It is literally a Tonka toy in real life. It is so ridiculous, look. It's not a rally car, but who cares? So it's got, look at the width of the carbon fibre, obviously, over fenders. Beadlock tyres, because it has a switch inside, so you can inflate the tyres from inside the cab, because why not? Fold down steps down there, look. Side exit exhausts, obviously more carbon fibre. 2 axles at the back, you know, just because. Oh, what a cool thing. I absolutely love these. And look at the license plate as well. Jordan, and it's just all ones. This is the most ludicrous, stupid, offensive, but wonderful car I think that was ever created. It's even got wood in the back, look. What an absolutely fantastic, fantastic thing. I want one. I don't think I'll ever be able to afford one, but I want one. So back to rally cars, a pair of Fabia R5s. It's shocking how old these cars are now, isn't it? Did it come out in 2013 maybe? The original R5 Fabia. So not a new car by any means, still a very good car. Obviously it was, has been dominant in the R5/Rally 2 category pretty much since it was built, and even up until today it's still one of the very best cars. I think Toyota are probably the only ones to have taken the fight to Skoda, aren't they, with these cars? So obviously a few of these on the entry. The majority of R5/Rally 2 cars are Skodas, which makes a lot of sense because they're still very, very good. It's worth a little look under the bonnet, isn't it? Let's angle the camera down a bit. So if you're not familiar, 1.6 litre, 4-cylinder, turbocharged, based on a production engine. I think this is a version of the EA 888 that's used in pretty much everything Volkswagen. Obviously, revised intake, the engine is tilted back, 5-speed sequential gearbox down there. But I don't think the engine is really the thing with these cars, it's the fabrication. So look at the strengthening down here and the revised bodywork to give additional wheel clearance. New strut towers, all custom fabricated. Roll cage, you can see connecting to the strut towers, reinforcing bars going down here, obviously mega top mounts. These cars are such works of art, considering they are, you know, the second tier category. These machines, I mean, if you put them next to a World Rally car from 20 years ago, you know, they're miles ahead really, and you see that in the times, don't you? Everyone kind of stopped running World Rally cars, older World Rally cars, 2 litre and 1.6 World Rally cars, because these are faster and cheaper to buy and cheaper to maintain. So they're just, I say this a lot, don't they? But this is the best thing that the FIA has probably ever done in rallying terms, in terms of category. It is just, it's just the perfect rule set, just enough production car to give a solid link to reality, but good enough to be spectacular, durable, and kind of everything you want from an international rally car. So it's going to be a shame when the FIA inevitably cock it up, isn't it? A bit of patience paid off. So Juho Hannanen has just arrived in one of the Rally 2 Toyotas. This is the factory, I think you could call it an advanced recce car, couldn't you? Scouting the roads for the WRC event later in the year. So it's nice to see Toyota supporting this event, isn't it? Sending out a car to scope out the roads and see what the event's all about, and it just brings a bit of gravitas, doesn't it, to have that international interest. Teams setting to work on the car after scrutineering, taking the bumper off for some reason. Not sure why they're doing that. Doesn't want to come off either by the looks of it. That looks like a very, very fresh car indeed. You can always tell the difference between a private car and a proper factory car. Just jump out of their way while they move the bumpers around, because it is clean, very, very clean. It's nice to see one of these cars up close. It's another Rally 2 car. I've seen them on the stages maybe, but yeah, nice to be up close to one. And over here we have a second one. So this is for the Saudi driver Rakan Al Rashid, Portuguese co-driver alongside him. Pretty wild livery on that car. Let's get a bit closer. It's definitely got some local flavour in the livery. It says, you can see on the quarter, it says yellow, yellow. That means let's go. So there you go. A very minor Arabic lesson for you. So it's nice to see 2 Toyotas. Rakan was a late entry. So it's great to see these 2 cars here. We've also got some of the other top cars back. So we'll go and have a look at those in just a second. So another car has returned. You saw we got a little bit of a line of cars all coming back in. So we've looked at the Toyota. This is the only Fiesta Rally 2 on the entry list. This is the cousin of Nasser Al-Attiyah, Nasser Khalifa Al-Attiyah, in a striking red Fiesta Rally 2. This is still, in my view, I'm a bit torn between this and the Toyota. I think this is maybe still the best looking Rally 2 car. It's close between this and the Yaris. They still look so good. I know they're probably not at the front of the development race anymore, but it's still such a good looking car, and it looks really nice in red actually. You don't often see almost pure red rally cars. We've seen lots and lots of sponsors on this one, but it looks all the better for it, doesn't it? It's going to be interesting to see how he goes. Nice little details as well. I love seeing them up on the sill stand, so you can just see the suspension group. Obviously Riga dampers, because it's an M Sport car and they have been loyal to Riga for many years. It's just, like I was just saying about the Skodas, you know, it's a proper machine, isn't it? And such a nice blend of performance versus, you know, attainability and kind of realistic competition. So I must say, if someone was going to give me a Fiesta Rally 2, I would not complain if it was red. That looks rather good. So just as a final treat, we do in fact get to see the number one car. Wasn't sure that we would. So here it is, my first time seeing a Fabia RS Rally 2 up close of none other than Nasser Al-Attiyah. 5-time Dakar winner, 19-time Middle East Rally Championship or something ridiculous. He's won the first rounds of the championship this year, so he will be hoping that this car will take him to victory, and by the time you watch this, maybe it has. It's an interesting car, this, isn't it? I was talking earlier about how these cars have been dominant since it was introduced 10 plus years ago. And, you know, it's just been a case of evolution, hasn't it? The body's changed a little bit, but they've just kept on developing it, kept on just incremental changes. Obviously with this new body style, we got much larger rear wing. So this is obviously the most advanced version of the Fabia. And it is something, isn't it? You know, Toyota have come along and spoiled the party a little bit, and I think some people would now argue that the Yaris is the best of the Rally 2 cars, but if you want to win championships, this is not a bad place to be, is it? So there we go. I think this is not a bad place to wrap things up. So, as I said, I think this is the perfect point to wrap it up as we leave the car of the number one seed behind us. Obviously, you're in the future, so you will know how he got on. I'm going to have to wait and see what happens. But nevertheless, I hope you've enjoyed this little look into the background of the rally, just a little look behind the scenes at some of the cars and the service park. So I hope you enjoyed that. As always, make sure you like and subscribe. I do very much appreciate your support. Make sure you comment below if there's anything you think is worth commenting on. Otherwise, thank you for watching, as always. And I will see you again in the next video.